live now, so I will tell you.
That's funny.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday coffee chat. And today I am sitting with well, today I'm sitting with Michael Stephenson, a leader who has spent more than 20 years reshaping how young people are mentored, supported, and seen. His work spans schools, organizations, and national advocacy spaces, all rooted in expanding opportunity and closing long-term gaps in representation and in achievement. Michael's story is one of resilience, reinvention, and intentional growth. As a young Black man navigating corporate burnout while building a family, he learned to turn failure into foundation. His perspective on leadership, communication, and self-belief is grounded, honest, and deeply human. And I'm so grateful to have him here. But before I say anything more, I have to tell you, why Michael? And it's really because the first time I met him, I didn't even know who he was. He was the man rushing to open the door for me. As I entered a building, I wasn't sure I was supposed to be walking in. I didn't even know who he was, but he knew I was meant to be there. And there was this instant trust that I was just following him. I introduced myself and smiled, and he introduced himself and smiled back and walked me to where I needed to go. I didn't even know that he was literally running the show because that wasn't important in that moment. And I knew right then that he was one of the kindest people out there. So I invited him to coffee chat. So Michael, welcome to here. Welcome
Appreciate it.
here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes. So my audience are moms, predominantly entrepreneur moms, working moms, stay-at-home moms, but moms, and they're all navigating so much. And your story feels really important because moms are life's first leaders, really, honestly. So when you think about early chapters of your life and what shaped your sense before you ever had a title, and you just told me your middle name, so that was fun. Um, what turning point became the building blocks for where you are today and what you're building in your life?
I think any parent can understand, like you go through so much in life, right? Like you first were a student, you were a child of someone else, you were all these different things that you're supposed to be, and you have all these roles that you're supposed to play. And as a mom, I feel for them, including my wife, because you have even more roles, right? You have even more responsibilities. And I think in my story, I was always hard on myself because, when I lost my dad when I was 13, and I've been working ever since, and I've always felt a need. My mom had her own issues that she was going through, and I always felt the need to be as independent as humanly possible. But you can imagine that even from that age, like the amount of failures and trials and tribulations that you have to go through is insurmountable. Like it's just every time that you try something, you fail, just like a baby, right? Like how many times does that baby fail to walk while it's crawling? How many times did it fail to crawl before it was like on its back or on the belly? So the thing that really helped me to keep going was I didn't want to disappoint the people that were there for me, whether albeit family, not family, extended family. Um, I couldn't let that go to waste because I saw whether out, my cousins or other kids where people did give up on them, where they didn't have any type of support system at all. And I just, in my heart of hearts, like I couldn't do that. And then fast forward being a parent, I cannot look at my boy's eyes, either one of them, and say I want to give up or say life is just too much. Like
Yeah.
that's not even an option,
Yeah.
right? So there's as a parent, as a mom, you guys have even more to go through, right? Oof, these kids, right? They
Yeah.
they were literally a part of your being.
Yeah.
And that level of stress, and then the postpartum, and then the menopause and the perimenopause, you guys go through so much internally, and then have to deal with all the external factors. So you mentioned being a Black man in corporate America and the burnout. Well, women in America, or women in any country really, have to deal with similar issues or worse issues, right? And it's all through their lives. And I don't usually speak on it because I'm not a woman. But to say that I don't appreciate what you guys go through, and to say that I don't um, see it, right, would be a mistake, because I do see it and I do appreciate it. But at the end of the day, man, woman, child, horse, cat, we still have to live. The book dropped, a glass broke, you got fired from your job, can't pay your bills. There is another day. So you you got to figure it out, right? Like you do need time to self-soothe. You do need time to appreciate what's happening to you, or to address what's happening to you. But at the end of the day, when you see your kid's face, how much time do you really have to do that?
Yeah.
And that's what I tell myself every day. Like, things don't always go right, but I don't have the time or the luxury to say, well, let me dwell on this. Let me be, I can still feel it, but I gotta move. I got two kids that I gotta feed. I got a wife that I have to support. I have people that are looking up to me. I have employees that need me. I have clients that need my best self to help them. So there's no, there's really no time to continue to wallow.
Mhm.
I can appreciate, I can say, okay, here I am. This sucks. I feel this way, but I have to figure out a way to get over it. And every single day, just like any mom can attest, there's always something that comes up that was unexpected, or somebody saying something that's completely out of pocket. I have two choices, just like anyone else, right? And I appreciate the moms, that single moms that are going out there and doing it. And I have no clue how in the world they do it. The moms that have to go through spousal abuse, or any of these like really unfortunate scenarios. But with my story, I can at least understand and appreciate the struggle, because even though I didn't birth a kid, I have two kids. Even though I don't deal with sexual harassment, not that I know of, maybe I did, I don't know. But not in the same degree, right? But I still dealt with bias in the workplace, right? And I still had to overcome those things. And corporate burnout is a unisex issue. We can all understand corporate burnout, because we go into college and we're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and you get your degree and you're all for it. And the kids today, especially, I know this topic like the back of my hand. You got to pay me 100 grand right out of college. No,
Yeah.
no,
No.
we don't. Nobody's gonna do that for you. Joe Schmo did it. Well, Joe Schmo got lucky, and good luck for him to keep that going. It's reality is just hard, but
Mhm.
it's easier when you have people like you, Leon, and that that are there for others. You understand? Like, it's easier to handle something when you know you're not alone, and that there is a network of people that are there to support you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. So I appreciate that so much. And I think perhaps what I'm hearing is that you are such an empath, that you try to see the perspective of everyone around you. You're really trying to see that perspective so that you understand the women that are in here, that you understand your children, that you understand the situation of the youths that you mentor and support. You try to kind of, and it appears that you really try to anticipate the needs of all of those people, all of the people. And that's a lot of pressure. That is a really lot of pressure on one person. um I'm sorry, there's an emergency happening in my house. Everybody hold for 1 second. I'll be right back. I have dogs. I have one that is in case, I think he's okay, but he wasn't making sounds like he was okay. I apologize, everybody. I think he's okay. All right.
Glad that your dog's okay.
Thank you. So he's Atlas, and he is let me just explain him. He is about to turn 1, and he is a lab Great Dane that investigates the world with his mouth. So,
Mm.
yes. So, but we were going back to kind of navigating, trying to, and you're anticipating everybody else's needs. Women do that, moms do that. And I think what you're describing is something that maybe is unique to you, but maybe not so fair, because many people internalize all of that stress and all of that navigation. And I think when you said that when you're in the suck, when things are really hard, you have to pull yourself back to remembering where you are and what has to happen next and all of the people that depend on you. And so a lot of times that burnout happens inside of us. So you have corporate burnout, and then you have life burnout that happens. And so having people like you and me in the world to kind of be willing to share the burden, but not in a way to hold on to that. I really appreciate that, the fact that you described someone who's trying to understand with empathy and action. And I think that is something that is uniquely you.
I appreciate that. I think there's a lot of issues in the world, right? There's a crap ton of
No,
issues in
it's
the
so
world.
simple.
But like, my wife is a bigger empath. I mean, she feels for the fly that got swatted. I mean,
Mhm.
the ladybug that you just want to get out. She feels for every living thing possible. And she thinks I am harsh. I know. But I guess it's in context, right? So like sometimes I think, and I think moms and anybody could really appreciate this. Sometimes we take on so much energy from others that by the time we get home, we're not necessarily ourselves, right? Because we have no chance because we took on so much throughout the day, really to unload anywhere, right? Especially people that work from home. I mean, where do you go, right? Like, what do you do? And I think
That's
sometimes
hard.
it's
Yes,
hard. It's
that's hard.
hard.
Yes.
So, I'm learning, and like even today, like every day I'm learning, and sometimes like I have a ear and I lend it to so many other people, but why can't I lend it to my own wife?
Mm,
So having these realistic conversations, even internally,
yeah.
allow me to be a better person. So now I make it a point. How was your day? I'm sorry to hear that. Even things that she says that I may not agree on, I have to let that clarity happen, right? Like that's part of what makes a couple work is having differences of opinion coming together and just having a safe space where you can get that out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing that at home. I was doing it everywhere else, just not home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So this
That's
these type of
fatigue.
conversations have
Fatigue.
help.
Well, that's a fatigue and that happens inside the world when you pouring out your battery gets really low. And there are things that you can do, and you probably know there are things that you can do to kind of put that perspective back together, like even walking in, if I may, walking into the house and saying, whew, my battery is at like 10%. Where's yours?
I like that.
Where is yours today? And when, then you have the opportunity to know, okay, so we're both at 10%. How are we not going to kill each other tonight? Well, let's figure this out. But just knowing where you are sets the bar, is really, really helpful. The other thing is I'm so sorry that is hard for you. Do you want to tell me about it? Can I help? Um, because sometimes just having the willingness to hear is enough, especially because you're an empath and she's an empath. Oh my gosh, you both probably drain those batteries down, and then the kids need stuff. Oh my goodness. And that
Right.
is, I like this conversation because there's also the acknowledgement that you hold your stress as a father and a husband and a business person differently than the average woman does. It doesn't take away from the fact that what you do and what you manage is difficult. It just means that you're dealing with it differently. So those check-ins are so, 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 so important because you're coming at the same goal from different perspectives. Um,
Right.
from really different perspectives. So, thank you for that. That's amazing.
That's like conversations like these are awesome conversations, Leon, because honesty, right, within a conversation makes it worthwhile. That means that the viewers can actually get something out of it because it's not something that I like looked through a book or I started writing. No, no, no. This is just authentically who the heck I am and the things that I actually go through. Not only am I human, but I am a fallible human. Like I am not perfect. I am an idiot at times. I'm just normal like anybody else. And I think that a lot of times people come on these podcasts or whatever, and they seem so polished and they seem so this or they seem so that, and it just kind of like, really, dude, really, this is so I don't try any of that crap. I just am who I am, and people like it, love it, hate it. I don't even care anymore. It's one of those scenarios. But I appreciate the opportunity to just
Yes.
give it and have this conversation.
And I am not going to keep you as long as I normally keep people, not because I don't want this to continue, but I know you have some really important work to do today. But I wanted to follow up what you just said about honest conversations being really important. Yes, they really are. It also takes vulnerability to share who you really are publicly because we're streaming live. And this is the Wonder Mama Coffee Chat, and it is a podcast. However, you're so much more. You are a polished, really incredible business person. Brim and Brand is what you do, and some of the companies that you work for are companies that I really admire, and I love the work that you do. On top of that, you and I had a conversation where it was just a coffee chat, and you said, "Hey, Leonne, can I be honest with you?" I'm really confused about what you do. And that was so important for me. So you're authentic, you're an empath, you are kind, you are resilient, and you run on your foundations. And I'm just so grateful to know you.
That's the nicest thing I that I'll hear all day, but that was the nicest thing that anybody could have ever uh said to me, Leon. So thank you for that very much. I don't
And
even know
thank you.
what to say.
No, that's okay. It's true. So that's why it feels uncomfortable. And I want to thank you for coming on. And because we had to cut it short, would you be willing to come back in July?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, yeah.
Because there are more questions I want to ask you.
You can
And
ask me anything you want.
okay, perfect. But for now, thank you all so much. And for those of you, Lancelot says Mike Stevenson is the man. Um, for those of you watching and hearing, catching the replay, you can always catch all of the replays from the Wonder Mama Coffee Chat on the YouTube channel, the Wonder Mama Place, or listen to the audio podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. So thank you all so much. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next Wednesday for our next amazing guest, Heather McNally.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You won't want to miss that one. Heather is a gem. So got you. Leon, thank you
Yes,
for the
thank you.
opportunity. And I look forward to coming back in July. We do this all over again, and I'll have more time to answer any questions that you want.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.